Hello YouTube. Today I got a special review on some boots I recently received. If you're into cowboy boots at all, you'll know that some hides are harder to find than others, some skins. And of those skins, rattlesnake is one of them, especially diamondback. They're hard to find. There's not a lot of companies that are making them right now. And the ones that do, they're doing special order. I think Lucchese is doing special order on diamondback. I think Rio, de Mercedes, and I have a custom order through Blackjack for some diamondbacks as well. But I've been waiting a long time to try to get some rattlesnakes, and I made a video telling you all how I found these Lucchese Classics on a Facebook group a while ago, some weeks back. And I was very, very fortunate to get those, very happy. But they were somewhat, older boots that's got some years on them and some wear. And a little before that, I started dealing with a local, not local, but he lives in Texas, bootmaker, which is always kind of a sketchy business in the boot world, because there's a lot of scam artists that tell you they'll make boots for you. They'll take your down payment, your upfront money, and then you never get any boots. So it's a problem. But in these groups, I kind of learned who to stay away from and who to trust. And there's a boot company called Alamo Ranch Boots, LLC, on Facebook. And I sent him a message because he posted a picture of some rattlesnakes that he had done recently and had his Alamo Ranch logo on the boot. And so I asked him if he could do a custom pair for me, completely custom. And he said sure, and we messaged back and forth through Facebook, and then I gave him my number, and then we talked. And when we talked, I explained to him exactly what I wanted. I figured if I was going to get some custom boots made, and these are my first pair of custom boots, I wanted to go all out, and I wanted them to be something that was made specifically for me. And part one of that was rattlesnake, and he told me he had enough rattlesnake to do 2 pair of boots, and that's all he had. And I told him I wanted to be one of those pair, and he sent me pictures of the skins that he had, and they looked great. And they were skins that he had got local from a tanner, the way it was explained to me. And he had a boot company and worked out of that storefront until COVID hit, and then he was forced to just kind of do boots mobily. So he wasn't able to do, he's not able to do a lot of volume now, but he is capable of producing boots for sure. And his name is Noe Madrid, N-O-E, Madrid, from Alamo Ranch Boots, LLC. And he quoted me about 5 weeks on the boots. It turned out to be probably double that, which is totally understandable. That's custom boots. He has different people that do different things. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't upset at all. He kept me abreast of the situation, as it was going. So I had trust in him. You never have full trust until you receive your boots, but I had quite a bit of trust in them. And so what I told him I wanted was a pair of rattlesnake boots in a 7-toe with a walking heel. But I wanted something pretty special on the shaft of the boot. I'd seen Blackjack did a version of some boots for, I believe it was Pinto Ranch. They were some pure Ruku that had like a revolver on the shaft of the boot. And it looked amazing. I thought those were the best looking boots I'd ever seen in my life. It like fit my personality perfectly. Except the pure Ruku, I didn't, that's has to be a very specific color for me to like Purevuku boots, and black is what I like. I really dig the black Purevuku, and that's what those were. But it wasn't a skin that just is a standout skin to me. Rattlesnake is a standout skin to me. Alligator is a standout skin to me. Snapping turtle. Those are probably the three pinnacles, with rattlesnake being at the top. And so I was like, if I'm going to get some rattlesnakes custom made, I want them to be completely custom. And so I took that idea. I found an image. I was a tattoo artist for a long time as well. Put together an image of a revolver and sent it to him, and he was like, that's perfect. His guy can work with that perfectly. And the end state is an outstanding pair of boots. I got these today and I was blown away by how they looked. So I have 4 pair of Lucchese's, 3 pair of Blackjacks, a pair of Tacovas, and these are my first pair of customs. And I will tell you visually, these boots, visually, these were my favorite boots, no doubt. 7-toe, natural Cayman. But these Rattlesnakes, man, the last they use is very similar to the Blackjack glass. That 7-toe, the way it curves going up into the vamp, very, very similar to a Blackjack styling, which is what I love. Of all the boots that I've seen and have, the Blackjack styling and the last they use is the most aesthetically pleasing to me. And these boots have almost that same exact shape and style. And the 7-toe looks amazing in comparison to like a Lucchese snip toe. To me, this looks like, and this is strictly my opinion, this is like a man's boot, you know, 7-toe. Some people like square toe. I'm not a square toe guy, but it's more of a man's boot, to where the snip toe looks a little feminine. You know, I love Rattlesnake and I love these boots. They fit great, but that snip toe just does not look as good as that 7-toe to me. So straight out of the gate, visually, he hit the nail on the head for me. The toe looked amazing. That stitching and stuff on the toe is outstanding. The way that the bootmaker put that together. And so on all boots, you'll have, like on these Lucchese's, you can see where the seam is, where a Rattlesnake is not going to fit all the way across this vamp, so they have to stitch it in. And you'll see the snake that they use for this boot is not as big as the snake they use for these custom boots, but they got the most out of it. You can see those are like the belly scales down there on the side. That looks amazing. So visually, straight out of the gate, I was super, super happy. And then the tooling on this, well, I'll get into it, but we'll start from the bottom of the boot. I've already talked a long time just on the process of the boot. Sorry about that, a little excited. But the bottom of the boot, you have quite a bit of outsole. So you got a lot of wear that you could put these boots through without significant need for resoles quickly. Lemon wood pegs. It has about 6 on each side visually, and you could see the rubber sole saver on this stacked leather heel. Walking heel, 1.5 inch. Heel counter, leather, all traditionally made boot. And then the shaft. At first I thought the shaft was really stiff in comparison to my other boots, but then I feel my other boots, like these blackjacks, and they're also pretty stiff. These are probably a little stiffer, not as supple as some of my boots that are broken in, and they're probably a little stiffer than some different types of leather. But I will say that these shafts are pretty stiff. But the tooling on them is amazing. All that is hand tooling. And the revolver is amazing. Great job. The symmetry on them is amazing. And then inside you have your traditional liner, and it is a traditional leather insole. You can see it's probably just another 1/2 inch longer than a normal blackjack or a Lucchese insole. But yeah, I mean, man, these boots look great. And my problem was going through a custom boot maker, through a company, Alamo Ranch Boots, is that their sizing would be different. You know, boots made in Mexico, a lot of times the lasts are different than, you know, boots made in the States. Well, these boots were made in the States, but I assume that some of the lasts are coming from boot makers in Mexico. And I think boot makers in Mexico are probably some of the best boot makers in the world. I definitely view that as a positive. But what I'm getting to by saying that is that the lasts are different. So the sizing is different. And No told me that on the phone, that, you know, when I asked for an 11D, and the sizing that they use, it's probably more likely like a 10. So you have to use a last for a 10 to actually get an 11D. And it made me really nervous, but I went ahead and went with it. And I slid them on and they fit perfect. The vamp here is pretty tight across here when you put them on. And I won't say they're tight, I'll say they don't feel like they have a lot of give in them. But straight out of the box, they fit great. I walked around the house in them, and they were more comfortable than some of the far more expensive boots that I own. And so I got this custom-made rattlesnake boot, hand tooling, hand custom tooling, completely traditionally made boot for $850. That is an amazing price for this boot. Similar boot from Blackjack, like that Pirarucu boot I was talking about, was an $1,800 boot. And you're pretty much just taking what they've made. I think if you have custom orders, you have to add about $300 to that. And so it's over $2,000 for a boot, and this one was $850. Completely happy with it. Outstanding boot compared to the Lucchese Classic. And the Lucchese Classic is older, and rattlesnake skin yellows as it gets older. I actually think it looks great when it yellows out, but it looks great when it's new too. All right, guys, thanks for watching.